find your seats, silence your cell phones, and remain standing for the arrival of the official party and the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glared, the bomb bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Master Sergeant Spates. Good afternoon. On behalf of the ALS staff, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. I am Technical Sergeant Sharon Renee Minnick, ALS Class 20 Echoes Lancer Flight Instructor, and I am proud to be your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's event. Airman Leadership School is the first level of EPME for airmen and sets the foundation for graduates to become NCOs and supervisors. Thank you for coming to congratulate these students on completing this significant milestone. We would like to begin this afternoon's ceremony by introducing our distinguished guests. Our host for this afternoon, the 7th Bomb Wing Commander, Colonel Ed Sumengil. The 7th Bomb Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Eric Duggar. The 317th Airlift Wing Commander, Colonel Greg Young. The 317th Airlift Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Mark Umfleet. Also in our audience are group commanders, squadron commanders, chief master sergeants, first sergeants, and individual award representatives that contribute to the success of each class. If it was not for their support and dedication, we would not be able to continue at the level we are today. Please join me in saying thank you with a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the student speaker for Class 20 Echo, Staff Sergeant Phillips.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Staff Sergeant Marquise Phillips, and it is my honor to stand before you as a speaker for Class 20 Echo. On behalf of the graduating class, I want to thank all friends, family, supervisors, and leadership for being here today, as well as ALS instructors. Without you, we literally would not be here. Graduating today are 33 students across 4 separate bases under 3 separate MAJCOMs and 14 different AFSCs that include aerospace maintenance, cyberspace support, fuels, munitions and weapons, public affairs, security forces, supply, vehicle maintenance, personnel, public health, tactical air control party, aircraft load masters, aerospace ground equipment, and last but not least, weather, with an average time in service of 4 years. As a class, we face many obstacles to be here today. As our nation still tackles with the COVID pandemic, we had to adapt. To overcome those obstacles, our class missed out on many of the traditional ALS experiences. Still, as we all know, flexibility is the key to air power. COVID, however, wasn't our only obstacle. For some of us, this was our first experience working with airmen from various AFSCs. If you never worked with someone in maintenance, it takes some time to get used to their, we'll just say, unique way of thinking. Many of us struggled to build our confidence in those early days of class, and it took us some time to be comfortable enough to share and receive feedback from our peers. Having to rate our peers is one thing, but then to face them and say why you gave them that rating or that comment was an even more challenging but necessary step in becoming future supervisors. However, with every hardship and obstacle we encountered, we gained something more valuable. Throughout our time as a class, we gained not only greater confidence in ourselves, but our ability to communicate as leaders. We've learned how to keep calm and collected under pressure and to lead with respect and trust. We gain insight into ourselves through the outside perspective of our peers. We gain the ability to tackle complex problems in multiple different ways, issues that we will no doubt encounter in our ever-changing environment. Most importantly, we learn how to take care of the airmen we are now entrusted to lead. I know my fellow peers are eager to return to work. Just look at their faces. As we return to our units as brand new supervisors and NCOs, we will strive to bring those new skills to bear and foster an environment of mutual trust, honor, and respect. We will ensure that the next generation of airmen are better than us, as we strive to be better than our predecessors. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Phillips. Today, 33 airmen will graduate Airman Leadership School and prove they are ready for greater challenges and increased responsibilities. Please help me congratulate ALS Class 20 Echo on reaching this significant achievement in their careers. ALS is not an easy course to pass. 24 academic days, 192 curriculum hours, a significant amount of homework, and additional preparation can make this a challenging obstacle on the road to becoming an NCO and supervisor. Some members of this class not only met the requirements to graduate, but exceeded the minimums and earned additional distinction as award recipients. We would like to recognize those individuals at this time. As we do so, please feel free to show some unit pride. If you would like to take pictures, please feel free to come forward to get your memorable shots. Our first award is the Academic Achievement Award. Today's award is presented by Technical Sergeant Michael Benz on behalf of the Dias Air Force Sergeants Association, Chapter 1056 members. The Academic Achievement Award denotes excellence as a scholar. It is presented to the student who achieved the highest academic standing of the curriculum and is exclusive of the John L. Levito Award. The academic extraordinaire and winner of the Academic Achievement Award for Class 20 Echo is from the 803rd Operations Support Squadron, Senior Airman Emily D. Johnson. Our next award is the Commandant's Award. Today's award is presented by the 7th Force Support Squadron Superintendent and Chief Enlisted Manager, Chief Master Sergeant Sean Weiser. The Air Force Association Abilene chapter supports ALS by presenting today's award winner with a 1-year AFA membership. The Commandant's Award is presented to the student who demonstrated superior leadership throughout the class. From each flight, a nominee emerges. Nominees, please stand as your name is called. Beginning with our first nominee, from the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Jared Eberdong. Our second nominee, from the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Edward Lee Sandifer. Our third nominee, from the 7th Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Sean Smith. Thank you, nominees. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commandant Award winner for Class 20 Echo is from the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Edward Lee Sandifer. Congratulations, Staff Sergeant Sandifer. Students who excel in both leadership and academics earn positions in the top 10% of the class. Those students are awarded the Distinguished Graduate Award. Today's award is presented by Master Sergeant Michael Altigieri. He represents the Dias First Sergeants. Today, we recognize 2 distinguished graduates. Our first distinguished graduate is from the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Jared N. Eberdong. Our second distinguished graduate is from the 436th Training Squadron, Staff Sergeant Shamar Smith. Congratulations, distinguished graduates. Thank you, Master Sergeant Altigieri. Ladies and gentlemen, our most distinguished award presentation is the John L. Levito Award. The John L. Levito Award is the highest award a graduate at any level of enlisted professional military education can receive. It is presented to the most outstanding student in the class. The Levito Award recipient is not eligible to receive the Academic or Commandant Award. Today's award is sponsored and presented by the 7th Munitions Squadron Chief Master Sergeant Philip Hensley, representing the Dias Chiefs Group. The John L. Levito Award recipient for Class 20 Echo is from the 7th Communications Squadron, Staff Sergeant Sean C. Smith. Winning the Levito Award is quite an accomplishment. In addition to the individual's pride, their name will also be displayed on the Levito Trophy. The trophy you see displayed here today is the one that will be located in the ALS display case, giving future students something to strive for. Congratulations again, Staff Sergeant Smith. We have now come to the peak of our ceremony, and the reason we are all here, the presentation of the diplomas. Class 20 Echo, prepare to graduate. This afternoon's graduates have met the requirements to assume greater responsibility and leadership within our Air Force. They are prepared to face the distinct challenges that await them. Another PME tradition is to support your graduating students and sound off some unit pride. If you would like a memorable picture, make sure you work your way to the front. Colonel Young and Chief Umfleet, will you please come forward to present the diplomas to the graduates of ALS Class 20 Echo? Introducing my flight, it is my pleasure to announce my newest graduates, beginning with the flight leader. From the 7th Security Forces Squadron, Staff Sergeant Aurora E. Solis. From the 7th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Adam C. Brown. From the 317th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Stefan W. Colon. From the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, and today's distinguished graduate, Staff Sergeant Jared N. Eberdong. From the 24th Fighter Squadron, Staff Sergeant Daniel Gonzalez. From the 9th Air Support Operations Squadron, Staff Sergeant Brian R. Guiney. From the 7th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Hunter A. Hall. From the 317th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Melvin Herrera. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Stephen Melojusto. From the 317th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Edwin Rodriguez Sepulveda. From the 7th Component Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Alan Carl J. Salazar. From the 7th Force Support Squadron, Staff Sergeant Ashley S. Williams. Introducing Technical Sergeant Benz, Black Hawk Flight. It is my pleasure to announce his newest graduates, beginning with the flight leader. From the 7th Logistic Readiness Squadron, Staff Sergeant Mitchell D. Monk. From the 7th Maintenance Group, Senior Airman Haley R. Arsenault. From the 7th Component Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Jorge A. Hernandez Camacho. From the 7th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Senior Airman Jonah W. Jenkins. From the 3rd Combat Weather Squadron, Staff Sergeant Marquise D. Phillips. I'm sorry, I messed up. Now from the 3rd Combat Weather Squadron, Staff Sergeant Marquise D. Phillips. From the 7th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Gabriel Kittigwa. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron and today's Commandant Award winner, Staff Sergeant Edward L. Sandifer II. From the 436th Training Squadron and today's distinguished graduate, Staff Sergeant Shamar T. Smith. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Christopher J. Vandershoot. Introducing Staff Sergeant Ludwig's Herc Flight, it is my pleasure to announce his newest graduates, beginning with the flight leader. From the 3rd Weather Squadron, Staff Sergeant Nathaniel C. Bennett. From the 24th Fighter Squadron, Staff Sergeant Joshua On. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Jordan A. Bensoon. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Matthew H. Hammonds. From the 803rd Operations Support Squadron and today's Academic Award winner, Senior Airman Emily D. Johnson. From the 7th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Senior Airman Della J. Lumley. From the 7th Equipment Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Joshua M. Marnell. From the 7th Component Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Christopher G. Moore. From the 39th Airlift Squadron, Staff Sergeant Martin Pina. From the 7th Component Maintenance Squadron, Staff Sergeant Arthur R. Reef. From the 7th Communications Squadron and today's Levito Award winner, Staff Sergeant Sean C. Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Sumangil.
Thank you. Colonel Young, Chief Duggar, Chief Umfleet. Actually, Colonel Young and Chief Umfleet, welcome to them. This is their first ALS graduation with Team Dias, so a huge welcome to them. Mr. and Mrs. Farmer, thank you for being here. Friends and family members here in virtual land, I think over there, I don't know if we're live streaming or not, maybe recording. Hey, thank you for joining us to celebrate the accomplishments of ALS Class 20 ECHO. Before I continue, however, I cannot forget to thank the people who made all of this possible. Right, to Master Sergeant Alvarado and the ALS instructors and staff, thank you. You guys never cease to amaze me with the things that you do, with the ingenuity, and with your efforts to make each class better than the last. So thank you for that. You learn a lot about teams during the most difficult times when they're faced with adversity. You and your team have really outdone yourselves this time, working with the McMurray University staff and team to allow you to hold a nearly full class while strictly adhering to the CDC guidelines. I have to say, you and your staff exemplify fighting through adversity and fighting through the ambiguity that the COVID-19 pandemic really has thrown upon our country and our Air Force, so thank you for that. To the McMurray University administration and staff, thank you for partnering with us, providing us a place to train and educate the future leaders of your Air Force. Once again, you demonstrate the unwavering support of the Abilene community that the support that you provide to your airmen and their families. Your Dias Air Force Base will not be able to do the nation's bidding were it not for your support. To the Hangar Center staff for bringing the food and the refreshments over all the way from Dias Air Force Base, thank you for providing that. To the countless commanders, many of whom I see here today, supervisors and wingmen who are present here in the live stream or in the recording or in spirit, thank you. Your immense successful completion of this rigorous program would not have been possible were it not for your mentorship and your leadership. Last but not least, to the family members and the significant others, I know many of them aren't here, but I can't pass by without thanking you for your continued love, patience, and understanding. Please know that your airmen would not be here today were it not for your support, and for that we are all grateful. To the graduates of ALS Class 20 ECHO, congratulations. By graduating from this course, today, you have demonstrated to the rest of us that you have what it takes to take on the most important and rewarding responsibility we are going to bestow upon you, to be a leader of airmen in the greatest Air Force the world has ever known. As leaders of airmen, we're going to ask a lot of you because our great power adversaries are going to present challenges and contest our every move. In the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, we are right now operating in a contested environment, similar to what our adversaries might present to us in the future. In this environment, there are no easy solutions. There are no absolutes. And if you don't think our adversaries are watching how we respond as an Air Force and as a wing to the COVID-19 pandemic, you are gravely mistaken. As leaders of airmen, we expect you to navigate this environment by executing commander's intent using your best judgment. Remember, there are no absolutes, and there will be ambiguity to the challenges presented to you as a leader of airmen. As a leader of airmen, we expect you to be disciplined and expect you to expect your airmen to be disciplined at all times. Today, undiscipline may cost us several hundreds of airmen in isolation or quarantine for 2 weeks, maybe a month. In a conflict against Russia or China, those airmen are gone for good, and losing them will result in mission failure. The American people expect us to keep them free. That only happens when we are a disciplined force. The responsibility we are asking of you as leaders of airmen may seem unfair, daunting, and sometimes even overwhelming, but I ask you to savor the challenge, because you have the opportunity to make a significant impact on the lives of airmen and our families on Dyess Air Force Base or whatever base you're coming from. You have the opportunity to affect the lives and careers of airmen who are looking to you for mentorship and to pass on the knowledge you receive from your mentors, supervisors, and commanders, and from your own Air Force experience, whether that's 4 years or 6 years. You have a lot to give that airman who's looking to you to lead them through the best and the not-so-great times in our Air Force. I ask you to remember this pride that you have today, that feeling of pride for successfully completing this course. I guarantee you, and believe me when I say that this feeling is 1,000 times better when you see one of your airmen up here succeeding at something that you had maybe a small part in. As a supervisor and a leader of airmen, your words are magnified 100 times. I ask you to elevate that airman who is struggling with adjusting to life in our Air Force or just struggling with life. Use your voice as a leader of airmen to advocate for your airmen to receive a well-deserved award, promotion, or to advocate for that second chance. At some point of our careers, we all need someone to advocate for our second chance. So yes, I presented to you a lot of challenges facing our country, our Air Force, and at Dyess Air Force Base. I tell you what, it is a great time to be a leader at Dyess Air Force Base. It's a great time to be a leader of airmen in our United States Air Force. Your leadership and your presence is needed now more than ever. So, congratulations, ALS Class 20 Echo. I am so excited for you to start your journey as a leader of airmen and to start developing the next generation of enlisted leaders we expect of our Air Force. So you are the reason we are the greatest Air Force the world has ever known. So make your mark, be the nightmare that our adversaries lose sleep over at night, and be the hero your airmen and the American people have been waiting for. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Sumingill. At this time, we would also like to give special thanks to our live stream support team from Public Affairs, Tech Sergeant Patterson and A1C Molignano, and McMurray University staff and faculty for their outstanding support. As mentioned earlier, history is an important part of not only ALS and PME, but of the Air Force. Please rise and join us in reciting the Airman's Creed and singing of the Air Force song. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman, guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its sentry and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail. Into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Adam Brown, give him the gun. Down we die, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or go down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Death from above. Please join me in applauding our Air Force's newest leaders. Once again, on behalf of the ALS staff and Class 20 Echo, thank you for attending this afternoon's ceremony. Following the graduation, the Chiefs Group have sponsored refreshments made possible by Chef Tavi and the Legends Cafe staff, which will be located in the back of the room. Again, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Where is he? I feel so bad. I forgot his name.
No, you're good.